Good morning, one and all. It's good to see you. We're just going to talk. We're going to chill. It's going to be great. It's just really cool. Like I've said this before. Like I'm super happy with the way like things have been going and like how things have finally come all together. I've been running more. I've run. I want to prove it too, so I'm going to prove it. I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying this. I've run 50 miles. 50 miles this month. I've run 50 miles. I haven't run 50 miles in my life. And I don't like running. I hate running, or I hated running. Running was pain. And so when I went out there for the first time, the person, the coach, he was just like talking to me. He was just like, run as if you could run more. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do that. That's okay. So I'll run real slow. And I was running real slow. Like I was running 13-minute mile pace, like not fat, 13, 14-minute mile pace. That's like barely more than a walk. Like it's just like a slow thing. I can run. I ran an 8 minutes and 38 second mile. I'm really proud. That's the fastest mile I've ever run. I'm a 10-minute miler, period. I never thought I would ever be able to run faster. Anyway, so I was running, and I've never run in my life before, but I wanted to run just because, like, I wanted to tackle something that I hated, right? Okay, this is a big part of me, and this is something that you probably all know about me, is I'm big about self-improvement. And a lot of self-improvement comes down to facing the things that you don't want to do. And just because you don't want to do something doesn't mean that it has to be unbelievable pain every time. And that's what I was kind of learning on these first few runs. So I've only been running for like, 2.5 weeks now. And it's just like, when it comes down to it, if you want to get better at something, and this is not like truth, but it's just the wisdom that I've gained. If you want to get better at something, you just have to do it. But you don't have to do it 100% the first time you do it. A lot about habit building and a lot about getting into something is doing something easy at first. Easy. It should be fun. It should be. And even if it's something that's not supposed to be fun like work, start easy. Ease yourself into it, but do it. Give it the time that it deserves, but that doesn't mean that you have to hit it so hard, so fast. This isn't CrossFit. Like this isn't like a super competitive thing. This is just something where you do what you want to do at a pace that you want to do it. And then naturally, because the way humans are, naturally we'll get bored of doing it the basic easy way. As you do it and as you let yourself get into it and as you build up a confidence toward it, both physically you'll get better in shape, but also mentally you'll get better in shape in terms of willpower. You'll naturally lean into doing it harder and doing it more. You'll want to push yourself. You will, because the basic level of it won't become exciting anymore. It won't be fun to do the same low-end stuff. You'll want to push yourself in different ways, explore different avenues, like learning guitar, like learning music, learning instruments. You start easy and you'll naturally be like, I want to explore. You got to build the habit. The habit has to come first. You have to build it in your brain that like, oh, this is something that I can do on a regular basis, but I got to do it. That doesn't mean it's got to be pain every time you do it. You just got to go for it. And you just got to move forward every day and try to do it a little more each day without getting to the point where you hate it. You want to end each time you're doing something positively. You want to go through it with a nice attitude in mind. You want to make sure that you can go back to it the next day. You don't want to end it when you hate it. You don't want to end it hating it, because then you won't want to do it again the next day. You got to end it loving it. You always want to end with giving yourself a little bit. You always want to end it wanting to do a little more. And that was the principle that was coming out of this. And it was like the coach was getting this into it, but also I was learning this. Like, just like, if you want to build a habit, you got to do something a little bit less than what you can. And that's like backwards thinking. But you got to leave yourself room to want to do more so that the next day you can do a little bit more. So I ran, and suddenly I ran 50 miles in 2.5 weeks. I never thought I'd be able to do that. I never, ever, ever thought that I'd be able to do that. Ever. I never thought that I would get to that point. Never, ever, ever. So, like, if I can do it, and I hate running. I've never run 50 miles in the entirety of my life, but I ran 50 miles in the past, 2.5 weeks. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's not just running either. It's anything. Anything at all. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway. Sorry. I get ranty sometimes. I'm so glad that you're still here. I'm really, really proud of you. Anyway, I was in a very lonely place in my life. I've never been a very social butterfly. I've never been much for talking to people. I'm bad about keeping up with friends. Like, I miss the togetherness. I miss the feelings of it, and I miss the sensation of it. And these little moments that I'm able to sit around and just talk with you guys, I like it because it allows me to feel human again. It allows me to feel like I have an actual connection with people. There's always going to be something that leaves someone disappointed, and that is the harsh truth of it. And that's something that you always have to face, is that no matter what I do, there's going to be someone that has a problem with it. And I understand that. I've got no issues with people having criticisms or people not liking something that I do, because I have full confidence in myself that I'm able to guide myself down the right path. Like, it's something along the lines where I try new things all the time, and I try to make new strides in myself in terms of, like, being better in what I do. And again, it's not going to make everybody happy, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because I always strive forward in terms of trying to improve myself. I always move forward in terms of trying to better who I am as a person, better what I'm doing, and better, like, how I'm, like, projected in the world. Like, I don't care. The reason and everything of it is to improve myself, to improve this community, to make it better, to guide it towards something more. I will do something else creative. If that leads to it, then so be it. But nobody should ever go into anything, YouTube, acting, whatnot, for fame. That is a stupid goal. It's always a side effect of what you're doing. If you're doing something for fame, you're an asshole. If you're doing something so that you can have more of something intangible like popularity, you're stupid. Because you're not making anything, you're just making yourself into an idol. And that gets nobody anywhere. It's just an idiotic goal to pursue. You can have number goals. You can be like, I want to hit 10 million subs in 2 years. That's fine. Whatever. Fucking great. But if you're not making something along the way, then what was the point of doing it in the first place? Who are you bettering? Do you feel good about that? Do you feel good about making something, like, just for the sake of getting more numbers? Like, it's the whole reason why cookie clicker games, or like clicking games or number games, they stop getting satisfying, because you realize that the numbers were meaningless. The numbers at the beginning of that game, when you were just getting 1 cookie per click, are exactly the same as when you were getting 100 cookies per click. It may seem flashier at 100 cookies per click, but you're still doing the same thing. You're still making videos for the sake of making videos to try to better yourself or better the world around you. Or at least I hope you are. But if you're not, then you really got to turn around and ask yourself, well, shit, what am I doing? I mean, that's the reason why so many people are getting burnt out, because their creative juices are getting drained out. When did you ever take the time to live more life? When you're done telling stories, when you don't have anything else left to say, when you've got nothing new in your life, you have no life left to give. When you don't take the time to actually go out there, try new experiences, do new things, people will have sucked you dry. You have nothing left to give, and that's why you feel empty and you can't keep climbing the hill, because you haven't developed as a person. You've got nothing new to you. If you don't change, and that's why I always ignore, like, you've changed. Of fucking course I've changed. I'm human. I want to change. Life is change. What are you trying to do? Stay the same? How is that an admirable goal? Like, that's not what you do. If you go forward and you never change and you're so worried about holding on to what you have, you're never going to grow as a person. And of course you're going to get burnt out when you're doing whatever you're doing. Of course. Of course you're going to get burnt out because you haven't done anything new. Go travel. Go see the world. Go explore. Go move on in your life. Let go of things so that you can grab onto something else. It's boring not to change. Yeah. Anyway. When people say like that they're so grateful for what I've done. Like that's why that hits me hard. That's really like the most heartwarming thing. And that's why it always gets me and always makes me tear up. I do that because I'm pushing myself into new territory and trying to make something that I'm proud of and trying to incrementally increase what I do by how much more I can do it. And that's progress in life. And if people come to me and they're like, that means so much to me, I'm like, what the hell? No. Why would you be so, like, why would you be so kind to me just for making something that I wanted to make? Like, that's why it touches me so deeply. Like, it's so important to know that you guys, like, have that. And that's why I always pursue the connection. Anyway. I would hope to have some kind of an impact on life. That's really the other big motivator in my life is knowing if or if not I have done enough. And all I've ever wanted to do, all I ever will want to do is to leave behind a better world than I came into. I want to know that I left a mark on people's lives. I inspired people to do more. I inspired people to reach higher. I inspired people to go farther. I inspired people to believe in themselves a little bit more than who they were. You know, I want people to know that anybody can do whatever they want. As long as you're happy with yourself. There is a way where you have a brain and you have the ability to problem solve and you can actually go forward and do what you want to do. It's not going to be easy and there's no guarantee of success. But there's no reason why you shouldn't try. There's no reason at all. There's no reason why you shouldn't attempt. And there may not be success in the end. There may not be results in the end. There may not be reward in the end. But if you've just inspired one more person to try, then you've done good in the world. I firmly believe that. And I firmly believe that anybody is capable of inspiring at least one more person. It's just like, if you can do one more, it's great. It's not always possible. No, it's not always possible. I'm not saying that if everybody tries, everyone's going to succeed. That's dumb. That's obviously not true. But the mindset is you shouldn't use that as an excuse not to try. You should never use the excuse that like, well, not everyone's going to succeed, so I shouldn't even bother. That's stupidity. That's asinine thinking. That is the stupidest bit of demotivation you could ever put in your life. That is not the point of existing. Why not just roll over and just sleep for the rest of your existence? You gotta try. You have to try. You have to try, even if it ends in failure. Because it'll inspire one more person that sees you fall, fail, never succeed, but you never lost your attitude the entire time through. You tried, failed, but you kept trying. You kept getting back up. That's the story that people want to hear. That's what people want to see. People don't just want to see someone taking the easy street, making it to success, coasting there for the rest of their life, being like, oh my God, I'm so successful. That's boring. I want to know the story of the guy that tried and tried and tried, or the girl that tried and tried and tried, never made it, but they never lost the hope that they could. Like, that's inspiring. That's what pushes people. You gotta keep going forward. You gotta keep moving forward. Even if all that it ends up is in pain and agony, you gotta keep trying. You got to inspire the one person to keep moving forward. You got to inspire the one person to keep trying, even if only a fraction of the people that try will make it to success. That is the betterment of us all. If we can push the one person who was going to be complacent and do nothing, but that one person was going to succeed, but they didn't try because they thought it wasn't worth trying, that's what we're trying to go for. That is the end result. We are all in this together, and we're trying to push ourselves so that the person that does succeed can go farther. It's not a zero-sum thing where, oh, you succeed and I fail, therefore I hate that. I want to push people up, everybody around me. I want people to pass what I do. I want to see them go flying by what I do. I want the next generation of people to be so unbelievably better off than I was that I don't even know why I was trying in the first place. But I still try. That's what I want. I want people to be able to overtake every accomplishment we've ever been able to do and just have a great time doing it. I would love a future where everybody is able to do whatever they want and try and not fail. But until that time comes, that is no excuse for not trying. So push hard, fail over and over again. Push hard, fail, keep failing, fail until you can't fail anymore. Keep going no matter what. Because it's going to matter to the one person that it really, really matters to. The one person that needed to be there. The one person that needed to see that. It's going to matter to them. And even if you don't succeed, and even if you do succeed, you do it for the next. You always do it for the next. I always think of the quote, you plant the seeds of trees you will never sit under the shade of. I've butchered that quote, but the point is you grow trees whose shade you will never sit under. You know your life will be over by the time what you're putting in the ground will come and bear fruit. You just live for the future. You don't live for the now. Work for the future. So, yeah, anyway. Sorry. I get ranty sometimes. This is just who I am. Like, I'm a goofy douche most of the time, but I will defend to the death what I believe in. I will defend that to the death. I will go any length to make sure that it's proven to you guys that I'm not just bullshitting about what I do. I don't do that. Anyway, Starfish Story. Right, if you don't know the Starfish Story, the summarized version of it, there's a kid on a beach who every morning goes out and tosses starfish back into the ocean. Otherwise, if they're on the beach, they're going to dry up and die. So he goes out, he tosses a few starfish, as many as he can. But the beach is just covered in starfish. There's no way that he can get to them all. And this old man watching the kid, he knows that this kid can't toss every starfish back into the sea. And he sees this kid every morning still going out there, still tossing starfish out into the sea. And he's like, this kid, he's never going to get this. He's never going to get this. I got to talk some sense into this kid. And he goes out and he goes up to the kid one morning and he's like, hey, I see you tossing these starfish back in the ocean. They just get washed up again. They get washed up every morning. More and more get washed up. And you'll never be able to save them all. Why do you try? It doesn't matter. And so the kid looks at the old man. He looks down at the ground and he sees a starfish at his feet. He leans down, picks it up, and he just tosses it back into the ocean. And he says to the old man, it mattered to that one. And the moral of the story is, it doesn't matter if you can't get to them all. You still try. You still do what you can. You inspire more people to go out there and save those starfish. One starfish back in the ocean can mean the world of difference because it mattered to that one. You can only do so much as a person. You can only do so much as a person. We know that. But we're not just one person. Humanity is never just one person. Humanity is a community. Whether we like it or not, the assholes, the saints, the wonderful people, the terrible people, we're all in this together. For better or for worse, we are here in this together. So that is the starfish story. And I'm not the first one to tell that. Anyway, it's just it gets this. I don't know. I get passionate about this shit. I get passionate about I want to see the best out of people. And the only time that I ever get disappointed in people is when I know they can do better, and they don't. That is when I get disappointed. So anyway. I'm very much a very spastically minded person because I look at each day and being like, what do I want to do today? I am very bad about planning for the future. So the change that happens to me is because I incrementally am like, I want to do something and I want to see if I can do it. And then I go do it. That's literally all I do. The running thing. I didn't plan to like running. It was just one day I was like, I guess I got to get in shape. I could try running. I hate running. fuck it, I'll try running. And then I started running, and now I've run 50 miles this month. Like, that's the kind of person that I am. I just try new things because I like trying new things all over the place. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway. Anytime you see something that could use a little bit of help, go help. Don't wait for me to guide you through to do something better. Like, definitely go push it as hard as you can. I'll do everything I can to get these, like, events going as much as I can, but gotta do it. Okay, here's another life lesson. Sometimes you can make mistakes. I don't regret it in any way, shape, or form. Definitely don't regret it. But sometimes you can make a mistake. And the mistake might be something along the lines of, I will sign every single calendar that people buy. So sometimes, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not always right. I know I'm not always right. I'm definitely not always right. I don't regret doing it at all, except that I absolutely regret doing it that way. But it's one of those things where it's just like, well, shit, I dug myself in a hole. I gotta dig myself out of it. There's no smart way to finish this. I said I was gonna hand sign everyone, and I'll be damned if I turn out to be a liar here. I'm gonna sign every one of these things, or everyone's gonna be like, oh, what you fuck, Mark? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna sign each and every one of them. I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna do it. I don't care how many ghost peppers I need to eat. I'm gonna fucking sign each one of them by hand, and that's what I fucking did. And it was an experience. Yeah, it was it was an experience. It wasn't a good experience, but I learned from it. I learned that I can hand cramp for 2 weeks straight, and I can sign like 38,000 of these sons of bitches, and I can do it. And in a weird way, it was inspiring. It was a horrible, horrible thing that I never want to do again, and I never probably will do again. But it was a learning experience. It was. Like, it was just heartwarming because I could do it. Like, I did it. I mathed it out. I was like, well, this is going to take 2 weeks. Fuck. Okay, here we go. 2 weeks of work. And it was just like, you can have that mindset. You can have the mindset of being like, holy shit, this is going to take a while. Here we go. And just like, go and do it. Like, instead of being like, oh, it's going to take forever, I guess I'll put it off because I don't want to do it. It's like, sometimes, if you look at the reality of it and be like, that's going to take a year to do. Whew. Okay, starting today. It's like, it's not going to get there any sooner if you don't start today. If you've got something in your life right now that you're like, man, that's going to take a while. Whew, I don't want to do that. Then start doing that thing. What are you waiting for? You know what you need. You see the road. It's a shitty road filled with glass. Your last pair of shoes lost their soles a mile back, and you got to walk on this road. And you can take a second and be like, shit. Okay, here we go. And then you just go. You're wasting time. You're wasting time worrying about how painful it's going to be. Just fucking do it. Do it. Like, you gotta do it. Like, there's sometimes no easy way about it. There's no shortcut. There's no nothing else. You just gotta fucking do it. And if you don't do it, you're not gonna do anything. Because I looked at running now, I'm like, what if I had waited until New Year's to start a resolution about running? You know, I wouldn't have made the progress towards running that I would if I'd have been like, okay, that's a good starting point. That's a new year. That's a new year. You feel attacked? Good. That means you're waiting on something and you could be starting right now. Go do that thing that you want to do. How long have you said to yourself that you wanted to do that thing? Why are you waiting to do that thing? Why are you waiting for me to yell at you for you to do that thing that you want? You want it. You know how much it sucks. Why are you waiting? Why in the world are you waiting? You're not going to get any better if you start 2 weeks from now. You're not going to get any better if you wait until the new year to start that thing. Start it now. Get it in every single day so that you can eventually have something that you can be proud of. Why are you waiting? Why wait? Overburden yourself with the things that you want in life. Do it. Just go for it. It's hard. It sucks. You might fail. If you're doing something risky, you probably will fail. But it's still, you gotta do. You gotta go. You gotta move. You've only got so much life left to live. And it's like, there's a thing. You can't save time. You can't save time. Time is something that can never be saved. You can either spend your time or you can waste your time. Those are the only two options for time. And if you're not spending time on something that you are working on or something valuable, or you're not spending time wisely, you are wasting time. There is no save time. You can't bank time. You can't bank a couple years and be like, I'm saving this for a rainy day. You use it or you lose it. There is no in between. That is all you have for time. And you only have so much time. That is the reality of it. None of us know how much time we have. None of us. Not a single one of us knows when we're going to die, what our future holds, what anything is, how much success we're going to have in life. None of us know any sort of these things. So you have to spend your time wisely. You have to spend your time doing the thing that you want right now. And if you change your mind after you've started, that's fine. If you're 3 months into it and be like, well, this isn't what I really want, so I guess I got to change it. You wouldn't have known that unless you started doing it. So go for it now. Don't waste time, use it. Don't save time because you can't. Spend it. Do it. Just go for it. Time is the most scarce resource. Time is not money. Money is not time. That's a false analogy. Time is the only thing we really truly have in life. Time is all we get. And it's always running out. Always. So make the best of the time that you have. Use your time to better the time that people will have in the future. That's all we have. That's basically the adage of live life without regrets. But like there are many things you are like in experimentation and trying new things. You are going to have regrets. There are definitely going to be regrets, but those regrets aren't a bad thing. Like do whatever you don't regret. Yeah, that is a good general principle of life. There's no right way to live life, by the way. There's no guidebook on life. There's no thing that'll be like, you do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, and you'll have a great life. There's no guidebook on that. So if you just want to do things that you won't regret, and the things that you regret is like, I would regret not doing that, then do that. If you would regret hurting somebody, then don't hurt somebody. Like, do that. Like, that's all you really need. Yeah. One of the big things I miss is just like being able to talk to people. Have a conversation with people. Like not just people. I have plenty of people I talk to in life, but just being able to talk with you and like give you an insight into the bullshit that goes on inside my brain. Like I miss that. I like that. I don't have all the answers. I would never claim that I have the answers, but sometimes the answers are very simple. And those simple answers are sometimes the hardest to get to. And I've learned through a lot of pain and a lot of hardship that the simple answers are often right. It's Occam's razor. Anyway, what time is it now? Good God. This day's gone by. This day's gone by pretty crazy. I'm so glad that you're still here. I'm really, really proud of you. Anyway, I think I'll end it here before I go to it. So I'm going to go. I'm going to run. If you want to run too, go run. I'm going to just run a couple miles out, do it nice and easy. Thank you for being here with me, and you take care. But thank you so much. And I will see you. Bye-bye.